Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wifey Wednesday. My name is Yolanda Samuels, and this is a part of Becoming One Flesh. My husband and myself, our marriage ministry, and I will be coming on. Normally, it's supposed to be like the fourth Wednesdays, but I ended up miscounting for the month, so it'll be once a month, usually at the end of the month on a Wednesday. So I want to say welcome. I'll be doing some videos, just some encouragement for the wives once a month, and sometimes I'll have guests come on as well. And so I had one last month when I had Christina on, and if you missed that, please go back and check that out. But I just want to come on and just kind of give some things that I've learned about, being a wife, and things that I learned through trial and error. So stay tuned, and we're going to get started in a couple of seconds. Welcome again to Wifey Wednesdays. So I just want to just kind of share some encouragement for the wives and for those who are desiring marriage as well, because we don't ever want to leave you all out. We want you all to know that there's things that you can learn from us, before you go into marriage as well. So one of the things that I learned as a wife is that before you go into marriage, you definitely should be working on some goals or working on some things for yourself, because you have to make sure that you have something going for yourself, some things that maybe you desire to do, so that when you get married, that you will not lose yourself in your marriage. Because many of us as wives, we lose ourselves in our marriage, and we don't take the time to really think about what the goals we have, and different things that we may like to do. We don't think about that. Sometimes we'll push all of that to the side to make sure the children are good, the husband's good, and everybody else is good, and we end up neglecting ourselves. And then when we do that, it can also end up causing us to be resentful or feel some kind of way that we didn't, have an opportunity, or we felt that we were neglected and weren't able to do what we desired to do, our goals. So it's very important to know what it is that you desire to do, because marriage should never stop you from going forward and doing things that you desire to do. Of course, you have someone that you have your husband, and you will have to definitely sit with him and talk with him about it, and y'all can work out a plan. But your life should never stop because you're married. And some people feel that when they get married, their life has to come to an end. Their goals have to come to an end. They can't go to college. They can't do this. They can't do that. And that is not true. When I met Joseph, I was doing my tutoring. I already was doing that when I met him. So I already had some things, that I wanted to do. I had some goals that I wanted to achieve. And I'm grateful that I was able to do that, because I not only did, the tutoring, started with that, I also ended up, writing books and things like that. So that's something that, I continue to do to this day. But there were goals and things that I had before getting married that I continue to work through when I was married. And that's why it's so important to know who you're marrying. And you have to be sure you choose the right person, because you don't want anyone who's going to be jealous or intimidated by what it is that you want to do, intimidated by, maybe you're a go-getter and they don't like that about you, whatever. You want someone that's going to be on one accord with you, that's going to be there to encourage you, to motivate you, and that you can do whatever needs to be done. And let's look on the other side as well. Let's say that your wife and maybe a husband, your husband has a lot of goals. Maybe he has some educational goals. He may want to start a business and different things like that. We as wives should be supportive of them. We should be able to pat them on the back and be there for them and encourage them to help them to reach their goals as well. Because in marriage, you're a team. Whatever I accomplish, he accomplishes as well. Whatever he accomplished, I accomplish as well, because we are one. We are working together, and we play a big part in our, why our husbands' achievements, just like the husbands play a big part in the wife's achievements, because you have to be a supportive person. You have to be able to be there with them, to encourage them, to help them to continue to go forward. So this is why it's a team effort in order for you to get it done. And so we have to make sure as wives that we are doing those things that we enjoy doing. If we have goals or different things that we want to do, that we don't stop doing those things, because we are married. We have to continue to grow and to go forward in what it is that you desire to do. And as I said, if there are some things that maybe you want to do and maybe you just kind of put to the side, begin to pick those things back up. Pick them back up and begin to look at it again. Take it before the Lord and ask Him, God, how can I do this? How is it that we can do this? How can I talk to my husband about this? And we can sit down and kind of come up with a plan, because it's so important for you to be able to do that, and so that you'll be able to grow. You'll be able to flourish, and you will be able to discover what all is on the inside of you, because many times we don't know what is in us because we're not doing anything. But when we begin to do the thing that we're passionate about, then we'll begin to see what is really on the inside of us. And we'll really begin to see what it is that God has called us to do, or what it is our passion is. So like I said, continue to have your goals, write your goals down, talk to the Lord about it, talk to your spouse about it, and come up with a plan for you to accomplish those goals. Come up with a plan to do that so that you can be fulfilled in your life. Because marriage doesn't fulfill if somebody's entire life. Sometimes we think marriage is the answer for everything. Marriage is not always the answer for everything. Okay, marriage is a bonus, it's a plus, it's wonderful, but marriage is not the answer for everybody's life. And if you don't have anything that you're passionate about, you don't have any goals you're reaching towards, you may find yourself getting bored. You may find yourself being resentful, as I said before. You may find yourself saying, what am I doing with my life? I've been married 10, 15 years, and I haven't done anything outside of being married. I had goals before I got married. I wanted to go to college, or I wanted to start a business, or I wanted to take classes or whatever, and I just didn't even do it. So you have to ask yourself, why are you not doing what it is that you could be doing? Because there's always a way that things can be done. Trust me, there's always a way. And you want to be sure that you are living out your full potential as a woman, as a wife, as a woman of God, as whoever. You want to be sure to live out your full potential. Okay? We got to continue to grow and to go forward. God bless you. We got to continue to go forward in what it is that we're called to do. And we should never stop having goals. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. We should always have something that we desire, to do in our lives. Doesn't matter if it's a hobby or anything like that. We should have something that we enjoy doing. And it will help bring fulfillment in your relationship as well. Because I don't know any couple that need things. We need things as married people outside of our relationship for his marriage. We need hobbies. We need things that we can do that we enjoy doing. Maybe you enjoy going to the park for a walk. Maybe you enjoy, painting. Maybe you enjoy other things like that, cooking classes or whatever. You should be able to do those things. And as I said, begin to really fulfill those passions that are on the inside of you. So I just wanted to encourage you, ladies, and those of you who are future wives, that make sure you have what you desire, and make sure that person that you're with don't have a problem with you having these goals, and that's going to help you to reach the potential that you desire to reach in your life. Because what good is it to live this life with all the purpose and the potential on the inside of you, and you haven't done anything with it, or you don't even know what it is, because you haven't stepped out of your comfort of being a wife. You haven't stepped out of that and haven't discovered who you are. Because see, not only am I a wife, I'm an author, I'm a creator. I can create things I didn't think I could create. There's many sides to me. I'm a tutor, I'm a teacher. There are many different sides to me. So we have to know what it is that we are called to do, who we are, what is our purpose, and what will we put on this earth to do. Because you were put on this earth to do great things. You were put on this earth to make a difference. And so we need to know what those things are so we can go forward in that. Okay. And so, as I said, it's not just one side, and not just about the husbands, supporting us. We have to support them as well, because our husbands have dreams as well. Our husbands have goals. Our husbands have plans, and we want to be able to help them fulfill those goals and those plans. Because this is something that Miles Monroe used to say all the time, and how there's so much potential in the graveyards, because people left this world not doing and fulfilling their purpose because one, they didn't know what they were called to do. They didn't understand their purpose, or maybe they just got comfortable in the space that they were in, or in the roles that they had, and they didn't know anything outside of that. That's why a lot of times when marriages fail, they don't know who they are. Okay. They don't know who they are, because when mine failed, I didn't know who I was. I had no idea, because I was so used to being a wife. I didn't know that there were other things on the inside of me. So when I went through, the fail of my first marriage, when I went through that, that's when I started seeing that there was more to me than I thought it was. That was when, I ended up going to college again, and different things like that. And then finding out my passion was working with children. And I started doing that. And then later on, when I met Joseph, then writing books, started doing that. And then teaching in ministry, started doing that. Then tutoring, started doing that. All of those things developed over time. But the main reason how they were able to develop was because God gave me a man of God that wasn't intimidated by me, by what I wanted to do, by me having goals and me doing what I do. And it didn't bother him, because he was like, you go and do what you got to do. I'm going to always support you, because like I said, it's benefiting the both of us. And so hopefully you'll be able to go forward and know what it is that you are passionate about and what you want to do, so you can go ahead and do that, and you can be everything that God has created you to be. Don't lose yourself in your relationship. Don't lose yourself in your marriage, that if something was to happen, then you sitting there looking like, I don't even know what to do now, because you end up being like a deer in headlights. You get lost and you're like, I don't even know who I am. Discover who you are right now. You can discover who you are. You don't have to wait. You can do that right now. Discover who you are. Discover what's on the inside of you, who you are. What do you have? What benefits do you have that will be benefits to other people? What gifts do you have on the inside of you that people can benefit from? How can you help other people? How can you share your gifts and your talents with the world, with other people? That's what it's all about, because we are full of the things. We're full of so much, and it's many times we don't know what is in us, because many times we don't seek those things out. So I just wanted to encourage us as wives to seek those things out and begin to find your purpose. Get some hobbies, get some things to do. If you have to go and drive off by yourself, go drive off by yourself. I know my husband be on me all the time because I'm a homebody, but sometimes when I leave the house, I have a good time, because I go out. I go to the mall or wherever, and go around, go shopping, do what I got to do. But that gives me some time away. And sometimes in that alone time is where God can really begin to download some things into your mind, and he can begin to share some things with you that he desires for you to do. He can give you a download. He can give you a plan of who you are and what he's calling you to be. And so this is why we have to know those things, because our life wouldn't be purposeless if we don't know what it is that we are called to do and who we are as people. And I'm not just talking about in ministry. I'm talking about outside of that. I mean, as a person, who are you? Who are you called to be? Who are you called to? What are you passionate about? What do you love? What is the one thing you'll do that you don't even have to get money? You won't even have to get paid for it, because you love to do it so much. That's your passion. Because your passion, you don't care whether you get paid for it or not. It's what you love to do, because it's who you are. And that's those things. Those are the things that'll be very beneficial in our lives, and it will bring fulfillment in our lives, and it will help better our relationships as well. Our marriages as well, because sometimes we need those stress relievers. We need those times where we got to have that time to really think and sit and process everything, and that's why those times are so important. So I want to say again, find out who you are. Find out what you're called to do. Have your goals. Don't give up on your goals. Continue to go forward in what you were called to do. Don't put it on the shelf and wait 10 and 15 years, and then your life passed you by and you look back and wish you would have done it. Now is the time to do it. You can do it right now without waiting. You can go ahead and go forward and do what you were called to do. So I hope this was a blessing to you all. As I said, this won't be nothing long and drawn out, just coming on real quick. And throughout the months, I'll have guests come on as well and share some lessons they've learned as a wife. So I hope that this was a blessing to you all. I hope you all, you ladies, wives, future wives, get your goals together so you can go forward and do what you're called to do. I love you all. God bless you all. And I pray that you all will join me next time. Stay tuned. Join us on here tomorrow night. We're talking about addictions tomorrow night, and it's going to be really good. So join us on here on Becoming One Flesh tomorrow night, and join me on It Cost Me Everything on Saturday, and join us Kingdom Principles on Sunday on Facebook and YouTube on all those pages. So we love you all. God bless you all. And we will see y'all, Lord willing, tomorrow night. Bye.